I wanted to ask you what your opinion is, having tangled with the SEC over the years. What do you think of the way that they're treating Elon Musk? You know, the way that he's tweeted, he says, look, they kind of have a vendetta against him and they're singling him out for unfair treatment. What do you think?
I don't know. He's brilliant. His situation, my situation, totally different. As far as I'm concerned, he's brilliant, but he conducts himself like he needs adult supervision. You know, and I'm not an investor in Tesla. If I was an investor in Tesla, I would be very worried about his deportment. You know, he runs a public company, he's got a responsibility to the public. My situation was totally different. You know, I entered into what's called no admit, no deny, so I have to be careful what I say, but the bottom line is the SEC is very wrong-minded in what they do. They're abusive in their conduct. I've said that publicly, you know, and I will only tell you a little story. This is all true, and I have a witness to the story. About a year ago, Price Waterhouse sponsored a seminar in Palm Beach, and the guest speaker was Mary Jo White, who was the head of the SEC when my case was brought. And I went over to her, introduced myself, and I said, you know, you're lucky I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to attack you in public. It's not my style. But here's a sealed envelope with a question. If you answer the question, I'll give $100,000 to your favorite charity. And she was game. She says, I can't wait. What's the question? I said, when you went after me, my lawyers told you they started all the trading. There's no case here. You can't possibly win. And your staff responded, if Mr. Cooperman would like to settle, we'll take a 5-year bar from the industry, an admission of guilt, and a $10 million fine. And I told my lawyers, look, I didn't go to Harvard, I didn't go to Yale Law School. That's where you guys probably went. You could tell them they could have the Rockefeller salute as my response. Okay, now the question, you came back 5 months later with no new information. Okay, and said, okay, no admission, no admit, no deny, no timeout, and give us $4.9 million. What did you learn between your first ask, which helped destroy the business, and your second ask, which I would have accepted if it was your first ask, just to get rid of you?
So that's
and her response, and I have a witness to the response. Let me tell you what the response was. Innocent people, she didn't say I was innocent, she said innocent people often settle because the litigation costs and time demands are so much greater than the settlement costs. And that's what they bank on, and it's disgraceful. Well, and that's absolutely disgraceful.
And that's why I wanted to ask you about the Tesla situation. And it's interesting that you're saying, in that case, if you were an investor in Tesla, you would be concerned about Elon Musk's deportment. Why is that?
Well, his behavior. He's got to behave like an adult. You know, this is stuff, tweeting and saying things and contradicting yourself. And, you know, I'm not involved in Tesla, so I don't know whether they're going to produce 500,000 units this year, which is, I guess, what he said in the tweet, and then later on, a sudden different number. You know, he's better off just keeping to himself. And I think that most intelligent and sane people would recognize his brilliance, but, you know, he's undermining himself. It's a little bit like the president in a sense. You know, who can argue with the successful ideas that the president's had, okay? Who can argue with the strength of the economy? What we can argue with is if he could be a little bit more balanced and recognize the need to conduct himself as the president of the country and not of his base. But I said he vanquished 16 opponents, he won the presidency. Who am I to tell him how to conduct himself? But, you know, time will tell.